All right. Hello, Isa.
Hello, Rome. Yan,
Yes. How are you doing?
better. Okay naman. Okay na now. Better
Okay na now,
better
better.
now.
Bakit?
Yeah.
Have you been
Yes.
experiencing any difficulty lately? Parang ang bigat kagad ng
Recorded na
question.
to, no? Oh. um, recently lang siguro last Friday, I moved to a new place. So, 'di ba,
Mm,
with the whole quarantine, with everything that's happening, so parang meron pa akong ganong like big change in my life. Yeah.
mm.
Pero yeah, because of that, um, so much better now.
Oh, I see. That's cool. That's good to know. Um, well, yeah, it's already been recording, pero I can cut parts naman if you want later
Mga
on.
chika-chika lang, ganun.
Oo. Yeah, kasi we've never talked since college na, 'di ba? Or 'di ba?
No, no,
Parang
no.
walang instant.
Nag-ano tayo, yung overnight sa Tagaytay.
Ah, you were there.
Yung
Okay.
overnight batch. Oo, yun na yung last. Hindi na nasundan. Yung,
Yeah, that
yung
was
batch
in
10. Mom
2018.
March baby. 17. Ay,
17 ba
18.
yun? Hindi ba
Parang
18?
17. Hindi ko sure. 17 or 18.
Yeah, I
Parang
think
ganun.
18. 18.
Mga Mom March babies. Ganun.
Oo.
Hindi na
Naalala ko
nasundan yun.
naalala ko we discussed like salaries and stuff. Do you remember?
Yes,
Tapos,
yes.
alam mo,
Good discussion points yun. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, good discussion point, pero natulugan ko yun eh. I think, yeah,
Ay,
people were
parang,
still discussing.
we're
Tapos,
not,
nag-share ako. Pero I think,
yes, yes, nag-share ka.
hindi ko narinig si Hans kasi nung turn na niya, I think tulog na ako.
Yes, naalala ko yung sagot mo. Naalala namin lahat yung sagot mo ata. Kasi may ranking. Yeah. Totoo.
That
True,
was
true, true.
funny.
Yeah, tagal nun. Hindi na nasundan.
Yeah.
Anyway, maganda sana yun na, alam mo yun. Maganda yung mga discussion points natin. Okay?
Mm-mm.
Especially, we were starting palang especially nung time na yun. So, parang good idea for
Right.
everyone, di ba?
Mm-mm. Yeah. Pera,
So,
pera. It's a good thing to discuss. Well, hindi lang naman pera yung pinag-usapan natin that time, di ba?
yes, a lot of
Experiences.
things sa work. Para
Mm-mm.
parang may ano ka din, idea what is it sa ibang industry, di ba?
Mm-mm.
If you want to shift, di ba? Parang, since starting pa naman, so it is okay to change your industry or whatever. Para may a little bit of knowledge din,
Mm-mm.
di ba?
Right. True. Okay. So, actually, we're already discussing a lot of things. Pero, I'll probably introduce you outside this video. So, I'll probably record something and then introduce you. Pero, I'd like to give you the chance to introduce yourself right now. Anything about yourself, like what you're doing or your
What
background,
I'm doing.
anything.
Ay, okay. So, ayun, since it's been a few years. So, right now, so right after graduation, after ChemN, right after graduation,
Mm,
I'm in my second role now. Nung 2017, the last time na nagkita-kita tayo, I was with supplier quality nung time na yun. So, um, overlooking our direct material suppliers in quality and compliance, in terms of quality and compliance. Then right now,
mm,
medyo bago pa ako sa role na to ngayon. Just
mm,
last year, I moved to still with QNC, quality and compliance, but right now I'm responsible for my assigned external manufacturing. So before,
oh,
direct material suppliers like packaging, raw materials, and right now, same QNC pa din, pero external manufacturer naman. I mean, it's this like yung second part lang ng in terms of
mm.
supply chain. So, doon na ako
Ah,
doon naman. But
okay.
just na lang, over a year pa lang
Mm.
for this role.
I see. Is that like the
So, yung
normal route for yung career path na you're taking? If
no,
may
not
hierarchy or
really.
anything.
No
Not
naman,
really.
no. Basta parang since ang exposure ka lang din talaga in terms of practice is, I've been with quality and compliance ever since. It's just that a matter of kung saan ako na face at as of this point. Hindi naman siya na, for example, you need to start with supplier quality, and then you move to another aspect like sa manufacturing or sa distribution. Hindi naman siya ganun. You can enter anytime. It's just that ano ba nangyari na? Yun yung may opening. Yun yung may opportunity. And then it's still, it's within our organization din kasi. So same leadership. So in terms of yung career path. So yun yung nagkaroon ng opportunity. So since I was already with supplier quality for Philippines, actually ako lang naman yung nandito sa Philippines. So I was given that opportunity na to look after our external manufacturer naman. So yun. So yun yung nagkaroon ng opportunity. And still with the same organization. So diba, kilala ka din. I mean, same group pa din. Same leadership. Kaya.
Oh, I see.
So yun,
That's
QNC
nice.
talaga yung background ko since, yeah.
Okay. So, well, aside from the things you do at work, anything else that you want to tell about yourself?
Okay. Well, hindi na siya very recently, but ever since naman, I'm really into like teaching kids, doing outreach. Siguro sa organizations before nung college. Yun yung mga things that interest me the most, yung mga outreach. And then especially more nung nag-work na ako. I've been we weren't able to do it this school year. I mean, not this school year. I mean, this whole 2019 kasi may mga approvals and logistics na hindi namin naayos before the school year started. Pero before that, I've been volunteering to teach grade 2 students on reading. So every Saturday. Yeah, so those are the things that I really enjoy the most. Ano pa ba? Pero, tas mountain hiking din. I've been into that since I started working. But not very recently. Nakat ko din siya like, siguro the last mountain, I think 0 mountain kami ng 2019. Parang ganun. Basta it's been more than a year na hindi na ako nakakaakyat. So, ano pa ba? Ano pa ba mga interest ko nun?
I didn't know that, na umaakyat ka pala.
Ano lang, nung nag-start lang talaga mag-work.
Okay.
Parang doon lang nag-organize yung roommate ko. And then, at that time, as in we tried 1 mountain per month eh. So, that frequent. Until nag-move na to a different company yung iba. So, ang hirap na mag-schedule until hindi na siya nasundan and then COVID happened. So, supposedly this year yun ulit. And sadly, we have to reschedule. So yeah, I think yun one of the things that I enjoy the most aside from the normal things like ano pa bang mga normal things? I think yun yung new. I think yun yung new when I started working. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. Actually, ako din, I tried mountain climbing. Last year, every month kami. Although, nag-stop yata kami ng June nung nag-start na umulan.
Last year?
Oo, last year. Nung maulan na period na, hindi na kami masyado umakyat. Tapos, this year, wala na din masyado.
Wala talaga. Oo.
Yeah.
Sorry, very recently, during the ECQ, I started learning to play ukulele.
Oh, that's cool.
Kasi feeling ko din, I really want to learn to play an instrument. Kasi feeling ko, alam mo yun kapag sa mga talent shows, alam mo yung mga Christmas party, na-feel ko na I need to have a default talent. Parang yung guitar, it's too difficult for me. So sabi ko, ukulele. So I started practicing nung ECQ, this ECQ period.
Wow.
I started learning language din pala nung ECQ period. Pero na-cut siya eh. Parang napunta yung attention ko dun sa ukulele. So, hindi ko na siya nasundan.
Pero anong language sana yun?
Korean and Mandarin.
Korean and Mandarin. That's nice.
Yeah, pero hindi ko na siya nasundan.
I see.
Sana,
so yung ukulele mo, 3 months ka na nag-aaral?
Siguro nung bago, dumating yung instrument ko, May na eh. So, nung bago siya, as in, I try every day. as in, sumasakit na yung fingers ko. Minsan, napapaisip na ako, bakit ko ito ginagawa? Kasi masakit talaga siya at first. And so parang medyo, parang nag-thicken na siya. Kasi parang sobrang namamaga na at times. Pero ngayon, siguro, naging preoccupied na din with work and some other things. Move out ko din dun sa previous house. So, naging busy. So, hindi ka siya nabigyan ng ascension. Pero hopefully, this weekend,
replay ka ulit. Sana i-post mo sa YouTube yung video mo playing.
Not sa YouTube though. Nag-post ako one time sa IG story ko comparing my skill versus my younger sister's skill. Kasi magaling talaga siya yung bunso kong sister. Magaling siya. Versus mine, ang kaya ko palang that time nursery rhymes. So, nursery song. Tapos sa kanya, Taylor Swift. So, yeah. Yun lang yung only, ko. Wala pa akong courage to post yung bago kong learning kung meron. Kung meron man. From the time
abangan ko yun sa sa IG.
Oh, watch out for
IGTV
that.
or sa stories lang? Sa stories.
Hindi sa stories.
Sa stories.
Hindi ko pa kaya yung IGTV. Baka mabash ako, Rome.
Wala naman yata nang mabash. Naalala ko tuloy yung kanta na
pa ako.
Alam mo yung kanta na basher. Hindi. Alam mo yun? Hindi. Basher. Okay, hindi. Okay lang. later, siguro you can check sa Facebook or anywhere. Merong person na gumawa ng song, Basher. Funny.
Talaga?
It's a funny video. Pero yun, medyo viral siya.
Sige. Papanoorin ko yan.
Okay. Ayun, so, okay, sige. Punta na tayo sa talagang topic na sinat natin for today. Ano nga yung question ko? Sabi ko, what is the most important lesson that you learned during your university days which you think is still relevant to you today? So, yun. Medyo deep na question.
Yeah. When you say kasi most important lesson, parang the first thing that came to my mind, parang isa lang. Kasi marami naman talaga eh. Even if, for example, my work now is not really very, very chem-eng related. There were a lot of things I learned in the university that still very relevant as of now. But siguro if to sum it all up, when you say like most important lesson, that is very relevant, and I think I believe will never really run out of style, is yung honor and excellence. Precisely honor before excellence. Diba? Parang when we were still students in the university, I never realized how important it was. Kasi nga, we were just parang more on ACADS eh. So more on excelling in your school works and then being honest while doing it and avoiding cheating and everything. So that ano lang siya, more on that aspect. But when I came into the workforce, I never realized how important yung honor and excellence. For example, in honor, meaning like integrity in the work, wherever you are, whatever your industry you're working with, it will always be relevant. Yun talaga ang pinaka mas importante sa lahat. And I never realized how difficult it became. Kasi nga, kapag nasa workforce na, when you see something that's not right, and you need to be honest, or you need to be, push. Yung parang magiging honest ka about it, there will be cost related, or it will result some conflicts. So hindi na siya na mere like avoiding cheating during the university days. It becomes more more important na as of this point. And then of course excellence, kasi in whatever work you do, nobody wants to have a mediocre result, right? So excellence naman doesn't equate to perfection, you can avoid mistakes. You'll never have mistakes. It's always doing your best. Kung may mag-fail man, kung may mali man, then you just try to see what went wrong and then try to improve. So just doing your best in everything that you do. So yun. Not naman being very hard on yourself, not trying to be perfect.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I think yun, and I believe ano yun, it will always be relevant. So I'm grateful na at a young age during the university it was being taught to us and then embedded in us. So in the workforce, it came really handy, that kind of principle. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually so amazing as an answer. I mean, I didn't expect that you would say honor and excellence. I mean, well, medyo blank ako in terms of expectations. Pero like when you said honor and excellence, parang, oh, that thing pala, tumatak siya sa'yo. Kasi I think honor and excellence is specific to engineering lang, right? It's not for the whole UP system.
UP. It's a UP, ano eh. Ano tawag doon?
UP
It's a
tag?
UP,
Or
yeah. It's the UP
buong UP
principle
siya?
or,
Okay.
yes,
Hindi siya sa
yeah.
engineering lang?
No.
Okay. I was thinking baka sa engineering lang siya. Okay. Honor and excellence. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an amazing answer. Mm.
Yeah. I
Go
think
on.
also because I work in quality and compliance, right?
Mm-mm.
So it's very very important to, kasi lagi talagang in-emphasize yung integrity, data integrity talaga in everything, especially in quality and compliance, and of course excellence, kasi in quality you always try to do things right first time, right? Kasi nga, for example, kung may impact na yan sa product mo, syempre magkakaroon ng impact yan sa mga consumers mo. So because of my line of work din, kaya naging tumatak talaga sa akin yung honor and excellence. And I think I believe it works with it's relevant also with all other industries, and yeah.
Right. Yeah. And sige, since honor and excellence, you learned it nung college days. Pero siguro probably first natin siyang nakita as a tagline or anything. Pero perhaps was there a person through whom una mong nakita yung concept ng honor and excellence? Or was there an instance na naramdaman mo siya during your college days in a very impactful manner?
College days? You mean college days, honor and excellence during college days? At this point, wala akong naiisip na anything in particular. Maybe it's not on parang a very big thing. It's mostly on the little things, the everyday things. For example, how you do your exams or how you do your work. You parang yun nga, parang sa university, yes, we are expected to excel, to do our best, or to have sterling grades, but not to the extent of cheating, or not to the extent of parang may matatapakan kang ibang tao. So I think in those little things, not siguro na mayroong turning point talaga, parang ganun. Hindi naman siya. It's more on the during the time in the university until it became a habit, or parang naging mo na siya, way of thinking.
Okay. That's a very beautiful answer na hindi siya something na parang tumama lang sa'yo like lightning all of a sudden. Pero it's a gradual thing na parang itinatanim or ipinupunla sa'yo ng university. And it grows on you, honor and excellence na from college days up to this time, you're still holding on to that learning and it's still very relevant to you. And I think to every one of us naman, honor and excellence. Yeah, very beautiful tagline. I see.
Yeah, true. I think it's important. Sorry.
Go on.
I think it's important nga na it was being, in the classroom or kahit na anong subject. Kasi nga, as a student, parang it's too much, honor and excellence. Parang what? Parang how can you really take that in? Pero if during the whole stay in the university, in your professors, in your classmates, slowly by slowly, at least parang little bit of it na churn in mo na sa sarili mo. So, when you need it the most, parang naging na lang siya, natural. To act very honestly and to do everything the best that you can.
Yes. And you've already mentioned naman na how you are integrating that honor and excellence in how you do your work, di ba? How about sa tingin mo, how are you able to teach other people honor and excellence? Is that something na you're considering, like not just ikaw na you're showing honor and excellence in what you're doing, pero also like your coworkers? How do you help them have that mentality to show honor and excellence?
I think because of my field of work, then the quality and compliance. So
Mm-hmm.
need siya. I mean, it's part of like the GMP and QMS, yung data integrity.
Mm-hmm.
So in my work function, it's an essential thing in terms of integrity. Very very important talaga siya. So um, it's easier to discuss sa line of function ko kasi nga when you work in quality, ano talaga siya. Parang alam mo yung parang it's ABC na. Ganun siya ka
Mm-hmm.
automatic dapat. It's one of the minimum expectation. In terms of my work, in terms of sharing it to other people, siguro in my younger workmates, if they try to uh, um, ask something from me, or for example, mga advices and everything. And also with my younger siblings then, especially yung mga students pa. Because I think you really need to instill that at a
Mm-hmm.
younger age. That's where
Right.
you form that kind of habit and way of thinking. Dapat it would start in the younger age. Kasi pag medyo matanda na, maghirap na mag-change ng
Mm-hmm.
perspective and principles kapag medyo twisted. No, not twisted, but different. Yeah.
Right, right, right.
So dapat as early as kapag mga bata pa. Like for example, when I teach the grade 2 students,
Mm-mm.
iba talaga, I mean, syempre magulo, ganyan. But you really, it's not about reading yung classes namin with them. It's in reading yung topic and everything. But um, you also try, syempre may mga, awayan yan, like, ala
Mm.
kids, awayan. So you try to neutralize that, and then you try to talk out to them, ano bang, for example, kapag may mga sinasabi silang, um, not so good things on their classmates, so you try to say,
Mm.
you try to advise them na, ganyan. Kasi it should start at a young age,
Right.
yung mga ganyan kind of habit, yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and I like what you said na yun, it should start at a young age. And at the same time, it's a habit that we form and a way of thinking. Yeah, it
Mm,
you said that it's a way of thinking, honor and excellence. Yeah, it's really
mm,
good. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, medyo napaisip din ako kung natutunan ko din yung lesson na yan during college. I mean, syempre, yeah, we're exhibiting honor and excellence naman all the time.
yeah.
Pero like,
Mm-mm.
kung yung anong tawag dito, kung you're consciously thinking of that in everything you do,
Mm.
na okay, right now I'm doing this work, honor and excellence, di ba? Parang yung ganun. I think
Yeah.
maganda nga na we're putting that as a mental thing na sa utak natin na lahat ng ginagawa natin lagi honor and
Mm.
excellence. Yan. Yeah, magandang
Yeah.
pabaon mula sa college. Yeah.
True, true.
Yeah, I think that's really big na more than the chemical reactions, unit operations na natutunan natin. Yeah, that's really big. Honor and excellence. Ayun. Okay. Yeah, so
True.
you already shared the biggest or the most important thing that you learned during our university days. Now, what about the
Mm.
thing na you wish you learned bago ka lumabas ng university, bago ka pumasok
Mm.
sa corporate world and had a job? What is that? Mas madali bang sagutin yon? Mas
Um,
mahirap.
yeah. Hindi naman. I think the very first thing that came into my mind is yung proper financial management. Kasi
Mm,
unless you have that background or yung course mo is related to finance,
mm,
um, you don't really have that much of an idea when you go into the workforce. And then you start, earning your own money. The
mm,
urge of buying a lot of things is there. So um, it's good to have that proper knowledge so that, I mean, it's okay to splurge. I mean, having that, first few months of your salary. Pero
mm,
once you have that knowledge, kasi it will be more controlled kapag andyan na yung, salaries mo. I mean, you can still enjoy, but hindi yung parang all out ganyan. So
mm,
I don't think we have that, or parang we learn that anywhere else, diba,
mm,
during when we were students. So we just learn it kapag nasa workforce na. Sometimes it would be too late, but at least, at least you get to start kahit na
right.
late na. Pero we really need to start. We really need to start at some point. Hindi pwedeng gastos lang ng gastos and on unless, I mean, everything that you want, kasi you really have to to learn how to manage it. So I think that's really one key thing. I think
Mm-mm.
that should be not. I'm not sure how it can be taught. Kung for example, you're not into finance
Mm-mm.
course. I'm not so sure. Pero di ba yung mga ganun, like how to manage your tax, SSS,
Mm-mm.
paliting, mga ganun na stuff. Those are very, very relevant. Parang, when you came into the workforce, parang mag-a-apply ka, parang super lost. How to
Mm-mm.
apply. Yun talaga, yung super lost ka, how to apply. So, I hopefully, for the younger generation, wow, napakatita. For the younger kids now,
Mm-mm.
who are preparing to apply their first job, to be in the workforce. I hope there will be more for them, opportunity for them to learn all of those things before
Mm-mm.
coming into the workforce. Para they will be more prepared. Hindi
Right.
yung parang magugulat. Yeah. And a lot of things Marami pa pala I think one of the thing then, especially, the millennial thing, especially yung may experience natin yan in the workforce na
Mm-mm.
millennials are very, idealist, and marami tayong basta yung creativity natin. One thing I realized is that you don't let your creativity or your ideas die down, but
Mm-hmm.
be rooted in the reality. Kasi coming out of the university, I think, I'm not so sure, but I'm not so sure with everyone else, pero coming out of the university, first thing in your mind is you want to change the world. May mga ganun na kind of ideas
Mm-hmm.
agad yung very idealistic, very high up in the sky. So it's good. It's good to have those creativity ideas. Those kinds of passion don't let die down. But at the same time, be rooted in the reality na, kasi be more practical, because it's different
Mm-hmm.
in the when you have more responsibilities na, it's different in the workforce. So having that kind of balance lang siguro, so that you don't get to be overwhelmed, or you don't punish yourself kasi nga
Mm-hmm.
parang hindi na na-attain yung whatever you really want, or whatever you were thinking. So have that kind of realistic approach, or realistic balance then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that I learned, or I think not that I should have learned, or I should have prepared myself, is that, going in in going to the university, having classmates coming from different, background.
Mm-hmm.
Syempre parang as early as those times, you learn how to work with people na different, coming from different background, right? But at the same time, we're still rooted in the same age,
Mm-hmm.
generation,
Right.
same university. So we basically have something pa din na the same. So
Mm-mm.
you still get to see eye to eye. I
Right.
think one thing na we should learn is that coming into the workforce, you should be more prepared na you'll
Mm-hmm.
be working with colleagues and teammates na as in totally different. Most of them are, for example, parents na, and you should realize that they have different priorities in life. So yun, parang i-widen pa yung understanding and yung mutual respect, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yun, so that those are the things I think na parang you should be more prepared
Mm-hmm.
coming to the workforce. Yeah.
I see. Yeah, thank you. That's actually a lot, no? Sige, i-recall ko ha.
Yeah. But sige, sure.
So, you mentioned about personal financial management, and then the things, the ang tawag dito, the things that we have to prepare for when getting a job, like fire, tax stuff, SSS, mga ganung bagay. And then after that, my memory is bad. You also mentioned about
Yung
getting
be more realistic.
being more realistic. Parang it's not that we limit our creativity and letting it die down, pero we
Yes.
look into it, seeing what is in reality, no? So parang becoming more practical, pragmatic,
Yes.
ganun. And then dealing with other people, considering the differences. Kasi when we were in college, although we are different, like from different provinces and all different backgrounds, we're still actually the same, given that we're going to the same university and then same age group. So when you go to the workforce, it's totally different kasi we are already
Yes.
working with sometimes really older people than us. Minsan ka-age na din ng parents natin. Ganun. So it gives us a different worldview or perspective of how we deal with other people. Yeah, I think that's really good, no? Na if before we even go out of college, before getting outside of the university and getting into the workforce, if we get the chance to learn about these things. And I think especially personal finance. Kasi yeah, ako
Yes.
biggest problem ko when I had my first job, yung first year ko, wala akong na-save kahit isang kusing. Yun. Yun, it is really terrible. Na-realize ko na lang na,
True, I think normal siya, no? Yeah,
first year mo din ba wala kang
na-splurge
savings?
mo na siya lahat. Wala.
Wala.
Parang no one told you na, hindi ba? Parang, ha? Kasi first salary mo, so parang, hindi ka sanay na you're earning. So parang feeling mo, parang chem-eng, parang material in, and in is also out. So whatever is coming in, you have to, you have to,
Grabe.
oo,
Parang in
so
some way
yeah.
bad pala yun, no? Yung
So,
input-output na idea natin back then. And yeah, yes, I remember, well,
yeah.
we dealt with large amounts of money calculations naman nung college. Like yung sa plant design natin, di ba? Mga malalaking pera yun eh. Pero parang
Yeah,
hindi
true!
natin siya na-apply after, biglang, okay, gastos lang. Yeah. Naalala mo
Yes,
pa yung
kasi,
plant design mo and stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
yung plant economics part, yung may
Mm-mm.
calculation part. Pero kasi, parang, when we're calculating, parang hindi mo naman talaga siya pera. Kasi it's an investment, kasi it's a business.
Right.
Pero, when it comes to yourself na,
Mm.
parang ang hirap niya i-integrate. Parang hopefully meron talagang more specific on that, di ba? I mean,
Mm.
very specific on personal financial management, hindi yung sa like economic
Oo.
business part.
Right.
Hirap siyang integrate sa personal mo eh.
Oo. Yeah. So,
Millions din yun eh. So,
mm.
how?
Naalala ko ngayon sa amin charity work yung plant design namin. Hindi kumikita eh. Yeah, so ganun ba?
Parang, parang decades pa bago hindi ko sure. True.
Yeah, bago yung ROI. So, paano mo natutunan yung personal finance nung nung natutunan mo na siya?
Ano ko ba siya natutunan? I think yung mga SSS, yung mga application na yun, parang you just really have to, jump into the water. Try to ask people na older than you how you do it and how to apply. Kasi wala, parang urgent need din kasi siya. So parang, if you're applying for a job, everything so parang happening so fast. So parang hindi mo ko na naalala paano ko siya in-apply lahat ng yun. In terms of managing my finances, parang, I think same with you, parang nagulat lang ako, oops, parang ilang years na, parang wala pa rin akong savings. Parang, I think I have that parang meron naman parang at some compartment of my brain na parang, I want to a lot. Pero parang, it didn't happen. Parang, yun na din, parang medyo ganun same feeling din na parang, it's been a year or more than a year, parang wala pa rin ako nasisave. So I think parang ganun siya na kind of parang panic. Kasi nga parang wala pa din. So parang doon ako na pinaforce ko na yung sarili ko na parang I have to really try to minimize on the unnecessary things. Try to allot talaga specific portion. And then from that, kung ano yung matira, yun lang yung spending mo, yun na yung bills mo na everything. So parang, ganun, medyo ganun. Same with you, na parang na-shock na lang ako after months and years of working, parang wala pa din savings. So same, yeah.
I see. Okay. Thanks. Ngayon, okay. I have another question na we didn't talk about. ngayon lang pumasok sa isip ko while we're talking. Ano to? What is, sa tingin mo, as part of adulting, what is the hardest lesson to learn as part of adulting? Yung hardest lesson na you had to learn.
Hardest lesson to learn. Wait lang. Parang alam mo yung naisip ko, parang medyo madami. Pero as part of adulting, ano yung hardest lesson to learn? Give me a few
Yeah, sure. Okay
minutes.
lang.
Siguro naisip ko siya kung it's hard to learn eh. Siguro, hindi naman siya hard to learn. Pero, yun nga, parang I think it was a hindi naman siya hard. Siguro to be very accurate. It wasn't very hard to learn kasi I think kailangan. So, it was more like a challenge on managing your finances nga. And kasi nga when you start working then over the years, parang you have more and more responsibility. And sometimes when you started giving to your parents, giving to your family, treating them, parang ang sarap sa feeling. So parang you try to work harder and harder, di ba? So that you'll be able to give more, parang ganyan. So it wasn't very hard, pero challenging siya na when I was very firm na I have to really allot a specific portion na savings ko, na hindi ko, for example, in that, for example, payroll for that month, na savings mo lang talaga siya. And then, ito, all of your bills and utilities. And then, ito, i-allot mo sometimes, to give to, for example, your parents or other things. And then, ito na lang yung matitira sa'yo. So, it was, hindi siya, I would say, hindi siya biggest. It was not hard, but it was very, very challenging kasi hindi ko siya na-achieve at the first month when I decided doing it eh. Parang paunti-unti. Kasi mahirap din talaga mag-cut. Kasi sometimes you'd think, I'm earning this naman, so bakit hindi ko deserve magbili ng mga ganitong things? Diba kasi nga parang ina-earn mo na naman siya. So, it's very, very hard to control and then to manage your tapos parang eventually then you have to learn those things yung sa investments, insurance. Hindi ako financial advisor. I mean, I'm very grateful na merong mga ganong people na very, 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 alam mo yun, expert on those things who help us out, who help us understand more about it. But it's very, very important din talaga to have those, to really think. Kasi iba yung generation nung sa parents natin eh. So, to really think, parang forecast, to really think that in the future, to really save for it. So, to really prepare for it. So, you have to think of those things. But at the same time, it really takes a lot of sacrifice now eh. Na parang, you have to save this amount to prepare for the future. So, you have to be more thrifty. So, hindi siya talaga na-achieve agad-agad. Hindi din naman na, for example, even if parang na-achieve mo na siya in the parang consecutive months, ma-perfect mo siya. Parang there will always come a time na parang kailangan, maano mo din talaga siya, magugulo yung plan mo on it, yung budgeting mo on it. But then, at least try to parang bumawi lang. Parang ganyan. Kasi it's really important. It was very challenging kasi nga, parang we were never really taught, di ba? Yung sa ganun na part. So, it was difficult yung mga ganyan, yung mga sobrang yung ano ka na ng bills, yung mag-save ka na, yung magiging conscious ka na dun sa mga ganong things. So, yeah, I think yun yung mga new things na you have to adjust and make sacrifices.
Sacrifices. Actually, yeah, I agree with that. Kasi, well, kahit ako din, I'm trying to save a portion of my salary. Pero, I think I've never been consistent na yung sabi ko, ganitong value yung isa-set aside ko. Hindi ko siya ma-do consistently. Minsan lalampas, tas minsan biglang wala. Ganon. So, I think yun yung challenge na part, yung being consistent. Given na sobrang daming variables, di ba, na biglang mag-change yung ganito. So, you have to make a lot of adjustments. Yun, I think that's, yeah, you mentioned that din naman. Na yung adjustment, yung challenging na part with regards to learning how to deal with personal finance. Ayan, okay. Thank you for answering that question. Okay, I think we'll go on na to the last question na we agreed to talk about. Okay, so we've already talked about the the most important lesson that you've had during the college days, and then yung lessons na you
Hello?
wished you learned. Hello, hello. Yes, I'm still here. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello?
Yes, we're back. Ayan.
Yan, okay na. Yes.
That was
Sorry.
interesting. No, it's okay. It's part of the Zoom environment. That really happens from time to time, I
Yeah.
think. And it's okay naman. Everybody experiences this, I think. Kahit nga sa mga like big time corporations.
Mm,
Nakikinig ako ng mga nila, anong tawag dito? Investor relations events. Tapos habang nagdi-discuss sila ng
tas
earnings, tapos
napuputol.
biglang napuputol. So it's okay. No problem. Okay, hindi
Yeah.
ko alam kung saan
Thank you.
nakat yung kanina, pero I'll review na lang later and then edit.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway. Ayun, so okay, so
yeah.
you already shared yung most important lesson that you've learned from our university days, and then you've also shared the things na you wish we learned earlier, or we could have prepared for bago tayo
Mm,
nag-join ng workforce, and also yung medyo challenging na part na learning as part of adulting. Ngayon, our last question would be for those who are maybe still a student na preparing pa lang, maybe they're on their final year before sila mag-join ng workforce, or maybe they're already looking for a job right now. Would you have any advice, like as an ate, maybe if you have a younger kapatid, no, younger sibling,
yeah.
still in
Yes.
college,
She just
tapos
graduated actually.
okay, yeah, so yung mga ganong klase ng tao, what would be your advice to them as an ate?
I mean, yeah. Um, yeah. Hello, Rome.
Yes, I'm still here. I can hear you.
Okay, narinig naman na. Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have younger siblings pa na nag-aaral. And then one of them just graduated nitong June. So,
Mm.
she was pretty
Oh,
sad about it na.
congratulations.
She was very,
Okay.
yeah. She was
Congratulations,
very
pero pretty sad.
excited. Yeah, I mean, she was very excited to, we actually had something planned na for her graduation.
Mm.
But then yeah, and this situation happened. So siguro DIY, I don't know, graduation na lang. But she was pretty excited about it. So well, that's the reality now that we have to cope up. So siguro as an ate, and if my sister will be listening to this,
Pwede.
but I think she knows most of the things na I'll be talking and I've talked about kasi I always have those kinds of you know
Conversations with her.
yeah convos with them, mga unsolicited ate advice. But yeah, yeah, siguro advice from like an yeah, let's para medyo chill lang and relax, like advices and ate. Siguro if you're applying for a job, try to, if you have the capacity not to be choosy, try to not be picky on the salary.
Mm.
It's really difficult if you're trying to consider finding a job and then really putting that in your top priority in terms of
Mm.
salary, because you have to accept the fact na you're coming into the workforce honestly without experience. Um,
Right.
it might be na, I mean, well and good if for example, you'll be given an opportunity where the job will give you a lot of learnings and at the same time it pays that high. But in
Mm.
reality, hindi naman laging ganoon. So
Mm.
if you'll be in a dilemma where there's an opportunity where that work, wherein that work you can learn so much but it doesn't pay that high, or an opportunity where you don't really like it,
Mm.
you will not enjoy it, it's not your line of interest but it pays so much, if you have the capacity to choose between the two, at the very first, try to choose the one where you can learn a lot, where you can grow, and then where there's really a career growth for you in that aspect. Because in terms of salary, it's difficult to expect so much if you're a fresh grad. So try
Mm-mm.
to be more realistic. I think one of the things na I learned from my parents at that time, kasi nga, you get to be frustrated if you compare it with others. So, syempre, others will have it better or not. Parang hindi naman same yan, di ba? Like
Mm-mm.
with everyone. But the common ground, and I mean the key takeaway that my parents really comforted me at that time is yung question lang nila is, do you enjoy your job or do you love
Mm.
doing what you're doing now?
Mm-mm.
Then try to focus on that first, especially in the first few years of your job. Try to focus on all the learnings. Try to be a sponge. Try to be more
Mm-mm.
teachable, and then but at the same time, in terms of salary, um, give yourself a timeline. Hindi naman pwedeng
Mm-mm.
hindi ka nag-improve I mean, throughout the years, diba? I mean,
Mm-mm.
throughout the years, you'll be having more and more responsibilities, and throughout the years, you'll be having more plans na, of course, you need the right financial capacity, right? So it should grow with you. So you should have a time limit. I mean, a limit for yourself. You should at least have that kind of foresight. Now, okay, I'm earning this much lang muna for this time, but I'm learning a lot. But you have to set a timeline now when if, for example, you'll be able to get that in your current role in your current company, then well and good. But if not, and if you're not happy about it, then you can try to to venture out into um, other industries or other companies. It's I think it's pretty much okay. And
Mm.
then yeah, I think yun para lang you don't get to be limited kapag
Mm-mm.
mahirap kasi if you're just focusing on the salary when you're trying to look for that first job. So try to focus yourself on the learning, what you can
Mm-mm.
learn in that role, kasi wherever you will go, it will be transferable eh. So yeah,
Right.
but try to set a limit, diba? It should
Mm-mm.
grow eventually.
Yes.
um yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
eh,
No. Na. Yes.
mm.
Okay. You were saying something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yun. I appreciate na you're telling people not to focus too much on the salary at the beginning, pero that they also set a timeline. Kasi, yeah, it's actually an important thing. It's just that when we
Mm.
are starting, yun, best na yung focus muna natin is to learn more and to gain experience. No? At the same time, not
Yes.
forgetting na we love what we are actually doing and we are learning from it. Yan. Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying
Eh,
something.
yeah, so parang yun yung sa when you're trying to
Mm-mm.
apply and try to look for a job, it's good to have that, something that you enjoy, and then set limits in terms of financial ano din,
Mm-mm.
kasi you need that eventually all throughout the years. And then when you're in the workforce in your company, try to find a mentor. It's
Mm-mm.
really it's really I can never emphasize how important that is, to find a mentor. It can be your boss. You'll be lucky if it's your direct line
Mm-mm.
supervisor or manager, or it can be from any other functions. Sometimes they would approach you and they would be
Mm-mm.
the one willing to mentor you, or sometimes it's part of the program in the company. That's well and good too. But you can find one for yourself. If, for example, you
Mm-mm.
see someone that you aspire to be, you admire their work ethics, how you can try to approach them. I think most of our seniors,
Mm-mm.
managers in our team always suggest that to find a mentor, because you really need one. I mean, you can try to for example, ask your parents, but I think the age
Mm,
gap is so different. It's
mm,
iba yung working style nila way back. So there's always wisdom pa rin in their advices, but you need to be more practical and more current.
mm.
But at the same time, if you only go to your friends naman, same lang din
Right.
kayo ng thoughts, and you still need more learning, so more
Mm,
experience. So you try to go to the more, at least in the balance na yung a little bit more experience than me,
mm,
pero parang yung in the current um mas maganda kung same kayo ng industry within the company, same kayo ng background in terms of work function, para mas makaka-relate. Because you really need to, kasi you have to, coming into the workforce, you have to be humble enough to accept that you're still learning. So you really
Right.
need to have that guidance. So be teachable, be humble, and then be proactive in asking questions. Kasi in the workforce, everyone's gonna be busy. So
Right.
good for you if, for example, you have enough transition time, but sometimes it's not the case for everyone. And sometimes kahit na transition sa'yo lahat, meron din talagang natutunan mo na lang through time. So, but everyone's busy. So, be proactive to to ask questions. I think that's one of the things na yung first boss ko, yung mentor ko din na told me na, he was very honest naman na I need you to be more proactive. I need you to be proactive in asking questions. What you need to learn, because everyone's gonna be busy. So it came in handy yung advice na yun, kasi nga ikaw naman yung may kailangan. So
right.
you approach. I mean, don't expect na parang sa school, if you spoon feed ka. I mean, sa university nga, hindi na that spoon feed. Pero in terms of sa workplace, talaga, it's still, at least you're being taught, di ba, na parang ikaw yung ina-approach ng professors, paano ka tinuturuan. But in the workforce, ikaw yung mag-approach talaga. Ask what you want to learn, ask what you don't know, parang yun, asking the right questions as much as possible. And then, during the, while you're already working, prioritize your health pa rin. Prioritize your relationship with your family and friends, kasi it's always gonna be stressful at work. As they always say nga, within in your family, I mean, sa work, there's always gonna be someone who's able to do your work or your role, but you'll always be irreplaceable in your family and your friends. I mean, it's very cliche, but it's really the truth. So you really need to prioritize your health, kasi hindi naman, you cannot put a boundary between your personal life and your work life. If you're not okay with your personal life, you'll never have that good results in your work. So yung leadership team din namin sa work, yung mga bosses namin always try to emphasize, have that time with your family, have that time with yourself. Always, I mean, prioritize your health, kasi they don't expect you to perform good if you're not okay. So you really have to give that, to have that priority in working. Yeah. Try to have some break time, ganon. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. So, i-recap ko yung second half ng shinare mo. So, first thing is to find a mentor. And then, while you have a mentor, or actually, kahit wala pa, pero yeah, it's an important thing to do. Find a mentor and then ask questions. Yan. I think asking questions has been really challenging for me when I started working. Kasi I'm not the type of person who asks questions. Parang usually I try to just figure things out on my own. Pero usually figuring things out on your own, it takes more time as compared sa when you just ask, di ba? And yun, the worst case lang naman if you ask is hindi ka bigyan ng matinong sagot. Pero that's the worst case, and you'll just end up from where you were before you asked. So it's okay, hindi talaga siya backfall. So yeah, I think that's really important na you mentioned about asking questions. And then maintaining your health and your relationship. I think that's really true, no? Now we can be replaced sa jobs natin, pero yung in the relationships that we have, yun, we will always be irreplaceable. Yun, favorite line ko yan. Yung kapatid ko pumasok. Favorite line ko yung, yun, you're irreplaceable. Yun, you're irreplaceable. Kasi, I don't know, sometimes we think na we are just like machines na mapapalitan lang tayo. Pero, yun, when we realize na there's actually something where, a place wherein we are who we are unique, and we cannot be replaced. Yun, you value that more. So yun, it's a very beautiful answer that you've shared, and I hope hindi lang yung sister mo, pero everyone else na younger than you will take this ate tips or ate advice.
Ate tips, yeah.
Ate tips.
Para more chill, ate
Yeah.
tips. Ay, one more thing pala, Rome,
Mm.
just to keep.
Yeah, sure. I know.
Parang one more thing I just remembered.
Mm.
I just like to share this with everyone kasi this has been shared by one of my mentors when I was starting out. I think a few weeks pa lang ako, or
Mm.
a few months. Um, she gave me this advice, and I think it helped me a lot all this the past 4 years.
Mm.
She told me um, in everything that you do, if for example you encounter a problem, you have to really align with. I mean, alignment with your boss is really important. If
Mm.
it's especially if you have a problem or encountering some problems, or if you commit a mistake, you really have to align that to your boss. You have to approach them um not when the problem blew already. So
Mm.
you have to approach them, but at the same time, when you approach them, when you align with them, inform them about the problem, you of course you're the one working, right, doing all the things,
Mm.
so you're the one more knowledgeable in that area. So you bring in a recommendation. So you would approach your boss. Boss, I have a problem. We have this problem, or I committed a mistake, and then this is my recommendation. I would like to align with you. So she told me that trick from
Mm.
my early weeks, and it really, I just wanted to share that with everyone because it really works wonders. Because as a boss, right? I mean, I would totally understand kapag sinabi sa'yo yung problem na nag-blow up na, what can you do? What
Mm.
can I do for you? Because it
Right.
already blew up. So it's very important for them to learn it I mean, as soon as possible. But at the same time, don't come in empty-handed, because you're the one
Mm.
doing the job. You're more, I mean, the for example, the that kind of role, I mean, activity. So you're the one more knowledgeable in it. So bring in some recommendations and then align it with them. So I
Mm.
just want to share that out. I just remembered because it was a very, very important advice I had from day one. It's very
Mhm.
it has been helping me since. So I just want to share it with everyone. Maybe it will work out for them also.
Yeah, sure, sure. I think that's
Yeah.
actually really wonderful advice na they can apply. Yun, especially
Mm,
ano naman eh, for sure we're gonna make mistakes when we start something.
true.
So, yun, it's a good idea na yun when we find a problem, communicate it right away with your boss or your manager and then provide them with possible solutions. Ayun.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Thank you very much for sharing that. So we actually had a very substantial conversation today. So thank you very much for being here with me and sharing all these ideas that you have. I think na it's really gonna be helpful naman to a lot of people. And actually even for me, like having this kind of discussion, I think it's opening up like parts of my brain na probably closed na before. Pero yun, having this kind of discussion with you, I feel like yun, may mga nai-ignite ulit na brain cells sa utak ko and nag-explode. Ganun. Wala akong maisip na
Yeah.
metaphor similar for that. Pero
Wait. Thank you for having me. I mean, I'm not really an expert. I just shared from, whatever I have learned so far. So,
mm,
maganda yung, ati tips. So, let's go with ati tips. Para more relaxed, more chill. So, just ati tips. Not very professional.
yeah.